Today, we're fortunate to have the director of the camp here to give us an overview of the many programs that Pilgrim Lodge offers. She'll be at the coffee hour to answer questions and hand out brochures. I'm pleased to introduce Liz McGough. Liz.
Good morning. What a joy it is to be with you this morning, and thank you so much for the opportunity to share a little bit about our outdoor ministries program of the main conference, United Church of Christ. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about because I started going to Pilgrim Lodge as a camper when I was about 8 years old and had the gift of being on staff during my college years and volunteering throughout my adulthood. So now I've been the director for a year, and I spend a lot of time asking the questions, why summer camp, why Pilgrim Lodge, and why now? So I want to share with you a little bit about what we have going on. I was at a camp conference recently with other camp directors, and the guest speaker was a mental health professional. He said that he's been going around the country and talking to parents and to teens about what is going on in our world today. And he asked a group of parents, who has more hope for the future of our children than you feel today? And a lot of the parents raised their hands thinking about their kids in the future. He then had the opportunity to talk to the teenage children of these parents at a different time, and he asked them a similar question. Who has more hope for the future than you have today? Not a single teenager in the room raised their hands. And what he is sharing with us is that we now need to be focused on the epidemic that is facing our children of anxiety and depression. They live in a world of helplessness and uncertainty, having come through the pandemic. Our children are witness to enraged politics and active shooter violence. Children spend more time behind screens than outdoors and less time with other people than decades ago. Our children face the unknown future of a changing climate. So while it is surprising that this leads to anxiety and depression, it is not surprising, but it is alarming. And as the mother of 2 small children, I often feel a sense of despair. But I am not here today to leave you with despair. Nor was that the message of the mental health professional that spoke to camp directors that day. In fact, his message was that camp is a place of hope. He defined hope as an ability to move forward and believe in what is to come, and his message was that camp creates the environment and the conditions for wellness and for hope. So at Pilgrim Lodge, we are offering the conditions that treat the causes of anxiety and depression, the very antidote that can lead to wellness and hope. And so, lest we think that camp is only for kids, I share my favorite point from summer 2022, that the average age of a Pilgrim Lodge camper during last summer's season was 37 years old. We have programs for the youngest of God's children and those also more advanced in their years. So as I share just a little snippet about what we're doing, consider this your invitation to Pilgrim Lodge. Here is how we create the conditions for hope. At Pilgrim Lodge, we give campers a break from screens and daily routines and offer them the pace of simply being in nature. We offer reflective time outdoors called Morning Watch, nature hikes. We build fairy houses and play capture the flag among the trees. And all of these opportunities set a different rhythm to connect with creation and enliven a sense of wonder that can open our brains and our hearts. At Pilgrim Lodge, we create a safe space for children to have independence. Stepping outside of our home environment and relationships into an environment with nurturing adults helps give campers practice at independence that can lead to a greater sense of self-confidence that they'll need to navigate a future into adulthood. Everything from managing their own toothbrush and wardrobe for a week to taking turns setting the table for their cabin mates, all of this leads to a sense of personal growth, accountability to a community, and the value of teamwork. At Pilgrim Lodge, campers are invited to take healthy risks, from wearing a blindfold during team building challenges to paddling a boat with a new friend. Camp creates a structured environment to stretch and grow in healthy ways. At Pilgrim Lodge, we create the conditions for belonging. We affirm each camper's unique and God-given identity. We celebrate one another's gifts and talents. Last summer during Camp Pride, one of the chaplains for the week, the Reverend Peter Ilgenfritz, reflected, "Each day I experienced a community of an ever-widening and changing circle of kids who, in other contexts, would be left on the outside, finding their place on the inside." He witnessed campers' delight as they found a community of fun, joy, play, and connection. Last, and perhaps most importantly, what sets us apart from other camps like archery camp or horseback riding camp or camp with water trampolines, we don't have any water trampolines at Pilgrim Lodge. What we do have is a camp environment where where faith-centered programming is the foundation of how we create hope at Pilgrim Lodge. We center ourselves in 3 overarching goals as we start our week together. The goal to love God, love each other, and love ourselves. Each day, we are in conversation about Scripture, and we ask the children, what does this Scripture mean to you? And the campers themselves get to plan and share twice daily worship with one another. This is the center of our community at camp. So I thank you today for being part of this ministry, for being in relationship with Pilgrim Lodge, and I offer you an invitation to come, see, be part, be witness, and participate. I look forward to talking to you during coffee hour, and thank you so much for the chance to be here with you.